What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. A good friend of mine is back today, Forever Football with Franny Green, FFTV. How you doing, bruv?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Obviously, the Euros starts today, man. Football fever takes over the nation. Everyone's going to be singing "It's Coming Home" and all that business, man. You've got the England shirt on as well, man. You're feeling the vibes, yeah?
Yo, it's the first shirt I've brought ever. First England shirt I've ever brought. So, boy, why not? That's only because this one looks all right. The other ones are dead out. So
yeah, that one's not bad actually. It's Nike as well, isn't it? So it's
Nike,
not bad.
innit? Yeah. As soon as it was Nike, it was like, yo, I need to get a piece of that.
Yeah. Before we get into it as well, Fran, for anyone who doesn't know, he's been on the channel a number of times. He's close to 500 subscribers. Links in the description below. So go and click on that and subscribe. And he did say he's doing a giveaway at 500 as well. So help him out.
Yeah. Good giveaway. I mentioned it when we first started. So 500 is like Pro Direct voucher or cash up to like £250. So let's get over to that 500 and then we'll go from there. You know what I mean? But always good to obviously, if we do it live on air, imagine. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? If getting to 200, listen, £250 people, you know what I mean? It's worth subscribing just for that, isn't it? I want to win that, to be honest.
I think the missus is she's in watching as well. She's trying to get the peas out of me as well.
Yeah, everyone wants to win that, man. The link's in the description, people. So just click on that, subscribe, and then come back over. Let's get him to 500 while we're on here today, you know?
Yeah.
No, but listen, obviously Euros underway tonight. Turkey against Italy. We're just going to go through it and see who we think's going to win it and things like that. What do you think first of all about England's chances? We'll start with England and what you expecting? What's the minimum you want to see from them?
Well, I think quarterfinals is got to be the minimum. I don't think they're good enough to go all the way. I think the last tournament that we had, we were quite lucky. A lot of the big boy teams weren't the best. They got knocked out early. England had an easy route to the semis, won it. And as soon as they played a Croatia and a Belgium, that was it. They got played off the park. So I don't think England are going to go, quarterfinals. But I think the biggest worry for England is defenders. We've only got one decent centre-half fit at the minute, which is Stones. And Stones needs someone as good as him at the side of him. He struggles when it's just he's trying to lead on his own. So for me, I think England will struggle defensively. Hence probably why he's got so many defenders in the squad.
Yeah, I hear you on that, man. It's an interesting one, isn't it? You look at the defenders that he's brought as well, like Tyrone Mings, who I think is decent, but not really world level.
Yeah.
Connor Cody, for me, is not all that either. He's took Ben White, who hasn't got, I think he's got one cap in that friendly. So
yeah.
We're not overly strong in that centre-back position, are we, really?
And Mings, for me, he's like a liability. Like, he just goes diving in. I don't know if you watched the game the other day. He literally couldn't be bothered to move on the edge of the box. So he just forearmed the player.
Yeah, Mings should have been a red card.
Should have been a red card. I think Konza's better of the two.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, at Villa, I think Konza's better than Mings, but you never know. Not sure. I think it's because he's left-sided. You know, it's like with left-sided players. They get a squeeze, so...
I think as well, a lot of people talking about Tomori. Tomori finished second in Italy, 18 clean sheets with AC Milan and doesn't get in the squad. Yet Connor Cody finishes 11th with Wolves and he's in the squad. It doesn't make sense.
You know, it's football politics again, isn't it? Tomori's name wasn't even in newspapers. He wasn't even in the mix. And you're thinking, wait a minute, surely you should be in the mix. And you got Connor Cody and Ben White. I mean, Ben White was on loan at Peterborough 3 seasons ago. Wow. Do you know what I mean? And now he's in the England squad. So, yeah, it's a strange one. But, you know, the football politics, I mean, the most baffling one for me is Trippier. Does well at La Liga, but come on now. He shouldn't be ahead of Wan-Bissaka, never mind anyone else. But, hey.
No. You know what? I'm just going to do this, right? The other day, obviously, we picked our England team. And it was controversial. I had people screaming at me in the chat.
Yeah.
But obviously, we've watched the friendlies and we know that, you know, maybe Henderson is not going to be fit, they're saying. Maguire's not going to be fit. So they were two players that I think both of us would have picked.
Yeah.
So we're going to pick what we would pick for this first game against Croatia and see if we can agree on something. Obviously,
Okay.
everyone in the chat, you give us your opinions
We're
as
going
well.
straight into it. Yeah, we're going straight
Going
in.
straight in, man. Gareth's been sacked. You know, the waistcoat's been thrown out. We've taken over.
Okay,
goalkeeper.
so
I mean, I think we'll agree on the keeper.
Yeah, obviously Pickford. Even though some people
because I saw today Mourinho saying Henderson. He said Henderson's had a better season, but Pickford's never really had a bad game for England.
I think he does well. I think he does well. He's commands his body. He's not overly big. You know, like those big goalkeepers. He's not Courtois and people like that, so they can come out and dominate. But shot stopping, I think, is the best. Henderson for me looks a little bit shaky when he plays for United, when he has played for United. So I think most people would probably go Pickford.
Yeah. Let's go with right back then, because again, me and you both had Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's injured. So, I mean, I know I would pick at right back, but I'm gonna let you choose. Who would you play at right back?
Initially, it was Trent, just because he would, the way that he plays like a foreigner. And I think if you're playing in a foreign competition, then you need players who are good on the ball, etc. So I think now you've got to go for Walker. You've got to go for Walker. If you're not going to go for Trent, you've got to go for Walker, in my opinion. So I'm going to go Walker at right back. You
go Walker. So why would you go Walker ahead of James? Just like
one is not a lot.
Trippier, we don't really rate, but
yeah. I would just think James is good when he's up against someone who's high on him. For me, James struggles when someone's playing off him, as in like maybe 10 yards deeper, and he doesn't know whether to go or doesn't know whether to come off, and then he gets running behind. Whereas Walker does do that, but he has that sonic boom, zup, zup, and he gets back in, and no one really beats him. So for me, I would go for Walker because of that. And also, we don't have much experience in the team at all. So I think he might bring a little bit of experience and age. So that's me. But I can see why people would pick Reece James. It's close, but I could see why people would pick Reece James.
Yeah, do you know what? I do like Reece James. I really like it. I actually think he's possibly a better defender than him. But I think Reece James is better in a back three, you know, and I think Walker, you do need a bit of experience in a squad. You know, and we haven't got a lot of that, especially with no Henderson, no Maguire. It's probably only Harry Kane, really, that's an experienced player.
Well, I don't think anyone else really got more than 10 caps, have they? There's only like 3 players with more than 10 caps or something crazy like that.
There's not too many. So then left back, I mean, the left back that I picked before, I've actually changed my mind.
Right.
I would go with Ben Chilwell ahead of Luke Shaw. I watched Luke Shaw the other day, and you know, sometimes, Fran, you get them players that they can be great for their club. They go and play for their country, and something just looks a bit different about it. I just think Luke Shaw, I know, and most people are saying Luke Shaw, but I think Chilwell, I just think he's just won the Champions League. He wrapped up Mahrez in the final. Confidence will be sky high. And a big part of the reason why I picked Luke Shaw was because I thought he'll have Maguire next to him, he'll have Rashford in front of him, he'll feel very familiar. Yeah. But Maguire's out now. I would actually go with Ben Chilwell. Well, what would you go for?
It's hard. It is hard, isn't it? I mean, there's not much between them, is there? There's not much between them at all. The only thing is, I'd probably still stick with Shaw, because I think Shaw, I don't know. I think I trust Shaw more than I do Chilwell. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe defensively, I'm not sure. Chilwell going forward for me is a lot better. I remember when he was at Leicester Youth and all that. I'm just not sure. It's very close. I can see it's a toss of a coin, to be honest. If you're the manager, for me, it's toss of the coin, because I both think they're both good going forward, and they're both good defensively. But I think Shaw has just a little bit more of defensive minded than Chilwell, but slightly. So it's very close, to be honest. Very close.
It's a close one. It is a close one. You know, I'll let you have Luke Shaw. I'll let you have it. But me, I would go Chilwell.
You'll go Chilwell, yeah?
I will go Chilwell. I just think, Luke Shaw, I think we'll see. I think he'll start Luke Shaw, to be honest, in the tournament. Those centre-backs, I mean, John Stones is a cert, isn't he?
John Stones he had that spell, didn't he, when he played for England, and he had a bad spell, and then he got out of the City team, and fair enough. But the problem with John Stones has is he gets the ball, and he's expecting the England players to have the same angles as the Man City players, and they're not good enough. So he gets the ball, and he's looking for a little triangle. He's looking for a Gundogan or someone. Obviously, he's playing for England. It's not there, so that's why he gets trapped and he gets caught with the ball. But he is by far the best all-round defender. I would say Maguire is a better defender, but all-round player, I would say Stones is probably a no-brainer. He's the best one we've got at the minute.
So obviously, like Ebby says here, right, the fridge is injured.
Yeah.
So who replaces him? I mean, obviously, I think it's Cody, Ben White, or Mings. I mean, I suppose
those three, you got to go with Mings, haven't you? Really? Yeah. I mean, I think he's a liability. Like
I do.
I think he's an absolute liability. But he's left-sided. He's quick. He's strong. And he's aggressive. But actually brain dead as a centre half.
Yeah.
But like you say, Maguire, I don't think people really appreciate how good Maguire is.
Yeah, I know.
Until he's out of a team. When he's out of a team, whether it's United, England, you see how valuable he is. But I think Mings is the only one. Yeah.
You only realise sometimes how good a player is when they're not in the team. And
so
I think
they're not around,
holds it together.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a big miss. Big miss. That's for sure.
I mean, I look at that back four, and I got to be honest, I'm thinking, I mean, Maguire should be fit later in the competition. So maybe, it looks a lot better. But if that back four was playing against a France or someone in the latter rounds, I mean, you might as well take that England shirt off. You know what I mean? Because
I'll take it back, bro.
Yeah. I hope you've took the tag in behind your neck, just in case.
Oh boy,
that's a suspect back four with Mings and Stones and that without Ruben Diaz next to him, who he usually has, having Mings.
Yeah, it's weak. It's weak.
All right, let's go into the midfield anyway. Of course, Henderson is a player me and you both picked.
Yeah,
he's not going to play from what I'm reading.
He's not played enough football, has he? I thought he played some football. But he's not played anything since January.
Yeah, 45 minutes against Romania.
Can't play him.
Can't play him. No. So, who do you bring in to replace Henderson?
So I've gone like a 4, and then, like you say, a 2, and then a 1. Yeah. Like you've got it up on here now.
Give me your first one.
First one, I've gone for Rice.
Gone for Declan Rice, yeah?
Yeah, I've gone for Declan Rice, yeah. We both agreed on the other one. Right. Not sure whether you have, but
I don't know. I don't know what you. I just want to ask you quickly. What's your thoughts on Declan Rice? For me, Fran, I think he's overrated. I think he's an overrated player.
I think, like football, the media and that everyone. Have you noticed pundits and the media always say the same thing about a certain player?
Yeah,
I think he's good of what I've seen of him. And maybe I'm doing him, disservice by saying, what does he actually do better than anyone else who plays in that position? But I would have to watch him. I've got to be honest. I only really watch him when West Ham were playing someone on TV decent or Match of the Day. I've got to be honest. So to be honest, I've probably not seen enough of him to see how good he actually is. But everyone seems to rate him. Everyone seems to rate him. Coaches, managers rave him. Is it because that's what everyone says? Is it hype, or is he actually good at what he does? Like, I don't know. To be honest, I do not. Out of all my experience, I do not know.
I just look at him and think when I say overrated, I don't mean like he's a bad player. I just think he's not exceptional at anything to me. He's decent at winning the ball back. He's big. He's strong. He keeps it simple. He can drive forward a little bit. But I saw him being rated at 70 million to Chelsea and stuff. And I'm thinking, 70 million? I'm sure this guy was a centre-back when he first came through. And then West Ham put him CDM. I don't know. I mean, but he probably does. So you're picking him ahead of Phillips, I'm assuming then, because Phillips is the other one in that role.
Don't get me wrong. Phillips, for me, if I had a little bit more security, or Maguire was in that back four, I wouldn't be so worried. But I think Rice is going to give us a little bit more protection because Phillips is by far sick on the ball. He's probably the best passer in the squad. If you think about it, obviously when Trent's not playing, he's probably the best passer in the squad. But defensively, he's not as good getting back in when he tries to get forward. Whereas Rice, I think, instantly thinks, I'm not really going to go forward here. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't really get drawn to the ball, whereas Phillips at times can get drawn to the ball. But as a footballer, I'm having Phillips all day. I'm just thinking about this team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So we're going with Rice just for security, really. You know what I mean? Rice and Peas business. Who are we playing? Are we playing the bad boy youngster next?
I'm playing the bad boy, and that's why I picked Rice.
Listen,
that's why for
me, Gareth Southgate, listen. Just play this kid. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how many caps he's got. He is better, in my opinion, than any centre midfielder in this England squad. At what he does. I just think he's exceptional. If he was playing for France or someone, they would just unleash him.
Well, I can't believe
on this website. That's how young he is.
I can't believe how good he is.
He's ridiculous.
Like at Birmingham, you know what it's like when a young kid's in the championship. You go, yeah, they do well. They go on and get a move. They don't get given opportunity. The best thing he ever did was go to Germany. Because if he goes anywhere else, he's not playing. The best thing he ever did was go to Germany. He's gone to Germany. They've said to him, you're playing, but he's still got to do well. They might say, you know what football's like. Yeah, you're playing, but if you don't play well, you're not playing. He's gone into that Dortmund team, and it's like I told you, he's like Patrick Vieira for me. He's like
similar,
like a similar gangly kind of, but also I think he's a little bit more attacking than Patrick Vieira was. He's a little bit more, and also what I like about him, he likes to put it about a bit. He's 17, but he's saying, I don't care. I don't care who I'm playing against. I'm going to go out there and try and boss it. So for me, everyone raves about all the other players that we've got, you know, your Sakas, your Grealish, your Fodens, whatever, this, that. Obviously, Grealish is 25. He's not a kid. But no one in that squad or anywhere near that squad or any other young English player I've seen plays like this kid. I think he's exceptional.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. What a player. I just, for some reason, think he's going to bottle it, Southgate. I think he'll probably play Rice and Foden. That's what I think. Rice and Phillips. I think he'll play two holding midfielders. Just because he's so defensive-minded, Southgate. But for me, you've got to play him. I don't even care that he's 17. The guy's scoring Champions League quarter-final against City.
And he was running some of City midfield ragged, mate.
Yeah.
But for me, he can do that other side. He does get back. He does break play up. He does do that.
Yeah.
But like you say, Southgate's probably thinking, let's be steady, thinking about how far we're going to get and things like that. But like you say, if he plays for France, he plays for Portugal, he plays for Spain, he plays for Germany, whoever, he's playing.
They're unleashing him.
Yeah, they're unleashing him. So, but yeah, it's definitely
right. Yeah. So now we get to the front line. Obviously, the number 10 role. I mean, when you think about the 10 role, really, there's players who can play there, but there's mainly only one that is playing there for his club. The other 10s are kind of playing left wing and right wing at their club. So, who are you going for in this 10 role?
Well, we went for Mount originally, didn't we? Did we go for Mount originally?
Yeah.
So I've been torn between Mount and Grealish.
Yeah.
That's why I've been torn between Mount and Grealish, yeah. So everyone's raving about Grealish. But I've never really seen Grealish be amazing in a 10 role.
No, he does it more.
Correct me if I'm wrong. People in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. When I see Grealish, he tends to drift out wide. He tends to want to get involved in the game more. Whereas a 10, people have got to find you by breaking the lines. And I think Mount is better this season in that position than Grealish has because he's played it more. That's me. So I would probably still stick with Mount, but I can see why people want to put Grealish in there.
I think, like I said, I think we're at a stage where we've got so many good attacking players. we're trying to fit them in everywhere. So people have got to put Grealish there so you can get Rashford on the left or Sterling. But you've got to play players in their best position. Mount has been our best number 10 out of what we've got this season. Grealish been on the left wing. And Mount, look at that Champions League performance, the through ball. And Mount does a lot of dirty work as well. So I think if we're under the cosh, he will drop back in and make that a secure three-man midfield.
A lot of unselfish runs. He'll run and open space for someone else. He works ever so well with Werner. Werner will run into and creates a space for Mount. And I think Mount just maybe understands that position more than Grealish, just because he's played it more. That's what I think. And you have to put players in to a system that's going to be good for their team rather than putting, it's like when you put a team of individuals on a pitch, it don't work.
100%.
So I think I'm going to stick with Mount. I'm going to stick with Mount.
This is where it's going to get tricky because there are a lot of options and I've got a bit of a theory about a player, but we're going to get to it. And it's not going to be popular, what I'm going to say. Right.
Okay.
But we'll get, it's going to be very unpopular. Right. But we'll get to it. Obviously, the striker picks himself. I don't even need to mention that. It's the
we don't need to mention it. Yeah.
Obviously, you've got Grealish, Sancho, Foden, Saka, Sterling, Rashford. So it's almost like a process of elimination. I mean, Saka's not starting. We know that.
Yeah. Saka's not starting.
I mean,
Sterling's not starting.
Do you want me to tell you the one that I'm having question marks about? And you're going to be shocked. It's Phil Foden. But let me tell you why.
Maybe, go on. Why?
I'll tell you why. It's nothing to do with his ability or anything like that. He's ridiculous what he's done this season. I've got 2 questions about Phil Foden. Number 1, he plays right wing in the Manchester City side and drifts inside. They effectively play with no striker. So it's just midfielders moving all over the place. Yeah. Where I feel like for England, he will just be a right winger. Do you know what I mean? He ain't going to be all that interchange what you get at Manchester City with players moving all over the place. We're a lot more stiff.
Yeah.
So then I think you have to ask the question, is Phil Foden a better right winger than Jadon Sancho in an England team? Because sometimes it's not about what you've done at your club team. We had Gerrard and Lampard and them, man, who were unbelievable. They came and played for England. It didn't work because of the system. I just think Foden will get stuck on the right. He'll end up playing like a right winger. And I don't think he'll be as effective as that. And someone said he plays almost like a free role for Manchester City, but you can get that when you dominate the ball and you're almost playing with 6 midfielders.
Yeah.
So I'm almost saying, well, is Foden a better right winger for England than Jadon Sancho, who is a natural right winger? I'm just presenting a question. If everyone goes with Foden, I'm happy to go with it.
It's good. Would you not put Foden on the left though?
I don't think I would, because for me, I think on the left you've got to play. I think you've got too many options there.
Who would you play on the left? Who would you play on the left?
I think you got to go with maybe Grealish or Rashford, or probably Grealish the way he's playing. But I wouldn't want Foden, a left winger, a left footer on the left with not that much pace. If he's playing against, I know he drifts, but
yeah. See, for me, so
go on, give me your thinking.
Yeah, so I would go Foden, Kane, Sancho. That's what I was going to go with.
Kane, so
I'd go left.
Are you playing Sancho on the right?
I'm playing him on the right. Yeah. And then if they're not having any joy, I would switch them so they can obviously come in rather than going down the outside. That for me, because you can't. For me, I can't leave Foden out no matter what. That's me. He's our best player, and I think he'll go on to be one of our best players ever. Wow. So you can't leave him out. As for Sancho's good, but for me, Sancho's not Foden's level. That's my opinion. I think they're different type of players. I think Foden's end product is way better than Sancho's. But Sancho can be a little more threatening going forward because he's quicker. But actual football ability, I think Foden is way ahead of Sancho. And if he signs for Man United, I think you'll see it. But that's just me. That's just what I think. Obviously, people have loads of different. And the only reason I would play Sancho and Foden and Kane, because I think they'll just have so much joy off Kane. I wouldn't start Grealish. That's me. I wouldn't start Grealish.
It's interesting. See, this is what it's all about. It's all about. See, imagine me and you as England managers. We can't even pick the team, mate. You know what I mean?
Mate, we'd be sacked. We'd be sacked, mate.
See, for me, I think that see what you're saying about Phil Foden, how high you rate him. I rate him high. I think he's an amazing talent. I almost look at Grealish in a similar way. I think he's unbelievable. I think, honestly, and what I love about Jack Grealish is I don't think he is a system player in the sense that I think he's just one of them mavericks who it's just give me the ball. Give me the ball and I'm going to make something happen.
Now you said
that's why I think he'll win your penalties. I think he can dribble past players. I think Grealish for me has got to be in this team on the left.
Now you said that point. Do we have the players to allow Grealish to do that though?
Well, see, the only reason I would say, Grealish plays for Villa. Let's be honest, he doesn't play for an elite Premier League club. I think they finished 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
So it's not like Villa are giving him amazing service, and you know what I mean, where Foden is getting elite service at Manchester City. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
do you think he would playing that way though? If he was to go to a big club, would he get the ball as often as he does at Villa? I don't think he would.
No, probably he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
The players would say, well, you're just Jack Grealish. Whereas Villa see it as, give the ball to Jack. I think if you went to United, a City, or Chelsea, they'd probably just say, yeah, he's decent on the ball. But, I've got someone else to pass to. I've got him to pass to. I've got... Interesting. But it's I'm not sure.
Do you know what it is for me? Because obviously you're backing Foden heavy. I'm backing Grealish. But I worry that if those two both played, are we lacking pace in that front three? Because I think you've got to have somebody who can run off the ball.
That's why.
Defense.
That's why I wouldn't play both. You'd have to play one or both. I wouldn't play Grealish and Foden because Foden, by the way, is deceivingly quick. He's actually quicker than with the ball. Like Ryan Giggs used to be. Yeah. Looks quicker with the ball than without the ball. Yeah. Whereas, and obviously, Sancho is just lightning, and Sancho can pull something out the back, but he's more inconsistent than the others. And obviously, Grealish is better than Sancho for me, but they're different types of players. I don't think you can have. For me, I wouldn't play both. Like someone's just said.
Is there any way? And I'm turning this into FIFA a little bit. but this ain't going to be the team anyway. We're just having fun.
Yeah.
Is there any way here? And people let me know on this. Could you pull Mason Mount out of that 10 and drop maybe like a Foden into the 10? Because they said initially at Man City that Foden was David Silva's replacement as a number 10. Yeah. But Pep's kind of put him on the right and took him inside. So, or does Mount just have to play? He's won the Champions League,
I just think the reason Mount has to play at the moment is because he's been the best in England at that position this season. Yeah. So he knows his environment. Foden did play a 10 one of the games towards the end of the season, and he hardly touched the ball. I can't remember which game it was. He hardly touched the ball. Now, Foden, obviously, he's got all the ability in the world, hasn't he? He can play a 10. He can play... Foden, for me, can play it anywhere. It's ridiculous, I think. But I don't think you can take Mount out of that position. I just don't think you can.
See, Alexander is saying you could play Mount next to Rice. See, I don't think you could play him centre mid. That'd worry me.
I think you could because he's got the energy. He can get up and down. But then are you eliminating what he's actually good at? Obviously, like he get forward. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, Abby's not happy. Oh, Abby, I would do better than that Southgate in the waistcoat, man. We'll play some sick attacking football, man.
Yeah, we might lose 5-4, but we'll be sick.
Yeah, we'll lose. Do you know what? Most people are saying, Mount Grealish and Foden. I mean, look, I wouldn't do it because I think you've got to have someone who can run off the ball. But maybe we just agree to disagree. Get your Foden in there. Get my Grealish in there, and Sancho falls by the wayside.
Someone's gonna have to fall by the wayside, aren't they?
Someone's got to fall by the wayside. You want Foden, I want Jack Grealish in there.
We should put a vote. Sancho. Put a vote in the comments. Come on, Grealish or Foden.
Listen, yeah, people in the comments, let us know. I mean, it's funny now, because I got to be honest. 2 weeks ago, I was picking Marcus Rashford on the left. I watched him against Villarreal, and I said, nah, I can't.
I think I pitched Rashford as well. We had the same team.
We had the same team. Rashford on the left. I just think that England team is too slow. I just don't think that team's got enough pace in it to damage France.
Yeah, well, Sancho's got pace. Foden's got okay pace. No one in midfield's lightning. Walker's obviously one of the fastest kids in world football. Well, men. Yeah, there's not a lot of pace, is there?
There's not.
Because everyone that's subscribing while we're on here. Appreciate everyone subscribing.
Yeah, man. Listen, people, like I said, his link's in the description below. He's on about 420 subscribers now. Can we get him to 500 on here? He said he's doing a big giveaway when he gets to 500, 200 odd quid or something. What did you say? £250?
Well, it was a Pro Direct voucher or, the equivalent. And I said that from the first video that we did last November. So I stick by my word, man. I stick by my word.
People, if you subscribe and he gets to 500, he's giving away 250 quid. And I want to enter that draw as well, by the way.
You can enter, mate. The wife's entered. She's trying to teeth the money, mate. So
yeah, man. So no, it's an interesting team. I mean, there's not a lot you can change the wingers. Me, I would have probably changed the fullbacks possibly, but it is. I think you'll go with it.
This is a question, right, for everyone in the comments. For me, I always think that English players are overrated in England. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then when we go to tournaments, we get exposed because we are nowhere near good enough as what people think. Do people think that still with this modern day football the way it is now? Or do we think Sancho is world class? Do we think Grealish is world class? Do we think Mount is world class? Or do we just overhype these players? And then when they come up against a João Felix or they come up against a Kimmich or whatever, we're just not as good. It's interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, I totally agree with that, what you're saying. I think we see it all the time, Fran, because you will see, look, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Mason Mounts look great for Chelsea. He might play for England and not look as good, but you haven't got N'Golo Kante doing your dirty work. I watched Paul Pogba the other day for France.
Oh, he's fantastic for France.
He was flicking it over people's head, nutmegging them. He's doing everything. But when they didn't have the ball, Kante's winning the ball back for him and giving it back to him. We're at United, mate. When you got Fred and McTominay, you've got to do dirty work with them. You don't get the same player. And I think this happens in England a lot. These guys play for elite clubs with great players around them, so they're put on the pedestal. And this is what I'm saying my issue is with Phil Foden. I think he's an exceptional individual talent as part of that Manchester City machine.
Yeah.
But I think putting him right wing in this England team, I don't think he'll be as effective. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he rips the tournament apart.
No, it makes sense. I think that we see that a lot. We see when players go, look at John Stones. He's a perfect example. He plays for England and you think he's bang average. He plays for City and you think he's the best centre-half in the world. So, I get where you're coming from. All we've got to do is look at Messi. He's the same. Plays for Argentina and he's nowhere near the player. So, do you know what I mean?
It's hard when you're carrying players, isn't it? It's hard to carry players.
Yeah. I used to carry you, didn't
I? Oh, yeah, I did your running, mate. You know what I mean? You was getting older them times. Big up to everyone in the chat. Over 500 of you in here. Like I said, got links in the description. Go and subscribe to FFTV. I don't know what you're on now, but and don't forget to join my Euro Fantasy League as well. I haven't put the link in the description. I will just add that quickly. So I think we've got about 250 people in the Euro Fantasy League. What are you on now? Check what you're on.
Let me have a check now. Let's have a quick check now.
We'll do a bit of. We'll talk Arsenal at the end as well, people. Because a few people throwing Arsenal comments in there. I would always do a bit of Arsenal chat, don't worry. A lot of people saying they've subscribed, so hopefully you've gone up.
Welcome back to Have they? 450, 451. So we're nearly there, peeps. We're nearly there.
Come on, 40 49 more people.
49 people.
When's
Come
the
on.
£250 giveaway? I got to watch that video. I got to see if I win.
To be fair, the best way to do it is once we get to 500 and people comment on the next video, and then the YouTube tool can pick the winner through the comments. So that's what we'll do. So the next video,
500, the following video, comment and then
comment underneath it, and then yeah, and then it picks someone, and then boom, there you go. Tell me what you need.
There you go, and you're in business, man. That 250 would help right now, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
Would help, mate. We've got to build these communities, mate. You know what it's like. Build the communities.
Build the community, man. Euros in general, then we've done. We've picked our England team. We've argued. We've sorted that out. Obviously, the tournament starts tonight. Italy against Turkey tonight. Just on that one before we look ahead at the whole tournament. Who do you fancy to win that game tonight? Because Turkey, I think, are a bit of an outsider. They've got defenders who are good. Their striker just won the league in France. But Italy are on a bit of a comeback as well. So what's your thoughts on that game?
Well, Turkey, some of the younger ones might not remember, but remember when Turkey used to be a boss team? They were hard to beat, and they, like every other country, they have to have a transition, like Spain are having at the moment, like Germany. But Turkey used to be boss; they were hard to beat.
Yeah,
they're decent. I can't see them getting too far. I think they'll do well, as in they might get out of their group. But Italy at the moment, I don't think they've conceded in 8 games. Mancini's got on playing some good football. And they're very similar to the Italian teams that used to boss world football. They're getting close to that, hard to break down. Obviously, Italian football was based on defending years ago, went out the window a little bit. Looks like they've got back to that kind of style, the Italian style. And then they've got the odd player who can pull something out of the bag, like back in the day when they had Totti, etc. I think Italy will win this game. I think it'll be close. First games are always a little bit iffy. But Italy are one of my, you could call them dark horses, because not a lot of people have been rating them in previous competitions. It's only now that they've been on this run that people are starting to talk about them. So, yeah, I think Turkey will do quite well. I mean, I think Italy will do quite well in this competition, but they go and lose tonight against the Turkey, lose the next game, and then they're out. So that's competition football, isn't it? You never know.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it? But I noticed in this Euros, I think you can finish like third. I think 4 of the teams that finish third qualify, which is a bit strange. I remember Portugal, when they won it, they finished third in their group, and
like best runner-up or whatever it is.
Yeah, like 4 teams or 2 or 3 teams that finish third qualify for the next stage. So, yeah, I think Italy are actually going to surprise people. They've got this kid Barella who plays for Inter. They got Immobile up front who scores a lot of goals. Jorginho's just won the Champions League. Got Verratti at PSG. I think Italy are always hard to beat, man. Donnarumma in goal.
I think Mancini's brought that back to him, like saying, don't overcomplicate it. Just do what you're good at, the old Italian way. And I think that's why they're doing so well at the moment. But like you say, competition football is very different from friendlies, or very different from just your deadbeat international games. But all it takes is that little bit of luck, don't it? A lot of the time. Yeah.
In terms of let's have a look at the groups, because I want your opinion on who you think is going to be like top scorer and things like that. Obviously, we've got the groups here. Who's your prediction as the top 2 in each group to get through then, if you had to pick? So starting with Group A.
So if you go through A, I think you've got to go Turkey and Italy, haven't you? Switzerland, Wales are not the Wales, obviously, before, when they had the red hot Bale, etc. They've got a lot of youth coming through now. So I think Group A, you're probably going to go for Turkey and Italy on form.
Yeah.
B obviously is Belgium. And Denmark are not bad. A lot of people have spoken about Denmark. But then obviously you can't really bet against the Russians, can you? So I put the neck on the line and go Denmark and Belgium for Group B.
Yeah, I'd agree.
C, gotta be obviously Holland, Netherlands.
Yeah.
But tricky between Ukraine and Austria. I mean, Austria didn't really throw up no shakes the other day, did they? Do you know what I mean?
Nah.
That's a flip of the coin between Ukraine and Austria, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll put you on the line there. You're gonna have to pick one.
Ukraine and Austria. Do you know, I don't even know many players that
Yeah.
play for Ukraine. To be honest, they're always quite tricky. And I'll go for Ukraine just because
Go for
I
Ukraine,
don't
yeah.
know that. I think ain't Shevchenko their manager. I think I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. Shevchenko's the manager, yeah.
Shevchenko. Do you know what? Just because I loved Shevchenko back in the day, I'll go. I'll go
Yeah.
Ukraine and Holland.
Right, we got obviously we've got it's a few people saying Ukraine, yeah, Netherlands and Ukraine. Yeah, fair enough. So let's go Netherlands and Ukraine, yeah.
Yeah.
Group D. We've got to obviously choose England. We're born here. Do you know what I mean? We've got to choose England. And Croatia. I can't see Scotland. Scotland could be tricky for England. Obviously, the rivalry is mad. Scotland could be tricky for England.
Definitely.
Most definitely, like so. But I'm going to go England and Croatia. I think it'll be a disaster if those two don't go through. Group E. Now, Spain are not the Spain, are they? Let's be honest. No. They're not. I looked at the squad the other day, and some of those players in that squad would get nowhere near a proper Spain squad. But that's the reality at the minute when it comes to the Group E. So I'm going to go for. That's tough. I'm going to go Spain, obviously, but Sweden, Poland, and Slovakia.
See, I've actually tipped Poland to get through just because of Lewandowski and them, but Sweden might be better than Poland, to be honest. I don't know if is Zlatan playing for Sweden.
I'm sure he was one of those players who's missing out, because I seen the list the other day, like all the players that are not playing in the Euros, and I was thinking, you know what I mean? I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to go Sweden. I'm going to go Sweden.
You're going to go Sweden, yeah.
Is it again? Toss of the coin between Sweden and Poland, wasn't it? Zlatan's injured, Omar saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll still go Sweden on that one.
You still go Sweden, yeah?
Yeah.
I think I've already tipped Poland to get through, so I've got to stick by it. I got
stick with Poland.
Lewandowski and that.
And then we get to the where all the eyes are going to be. Group F. This one is a madness.
This is wild, you know, because like as much as France are favourites, they could hold a defeat or two here if they don't. You know what I mean? Competition football, you can turn up first game, you don't really click, and you get beat. Or it's going to be a mad group. This one.
You got to go Portugal. Portugal are the holders, right? So we've got to go Portugal, haven't we? We can't go against. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to go Portugal. Germany are in a transitional period still, aren't they? Some would say.
Yeah.
I'm sure Joachim Löw's still managing. He seems like he's been manager for.
Yeah, he's leaving after this.
So I just think France are going to be too strong to not go through. So I'm going to go Portugal and France. But Germany, we know as English, to bet against the Germans is always a mistake, man.
Do you know what's crazy? I heard Jose on TalkSport this morning. And he was saying that Portugal have only took 3 centre-backs. And he was like, I can't. And 2 of the centre-backs, one of them's Pepe, who I think is like 37 or 38. Yeah,
he's done.
And the other one, Jose Font, who's about 37 as well. So he was saying Ruben Diaz is the only like younger centre-back that they've got. So he was like, listen, if Pepe or Font, 1 or 2 of them get injured, they're playing fullbacks at centre-back. So it's a risky one.
I mean, like Caps has said France and Germany. Now I might be looking ahead. Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy, isn't it? Because it's so hard to write Germany off. Like, even if they're out of form, they're not playing well, they become that robot. Muller scores. Muller's probably like every tournament he just turns up, bags a couple of goals.
Kimmich is there.
Kimmich, Gnabry, Sané, they've got ballers, man.
Yeah, Cruz can still he can still do his zinging, 50, 60-yard pass. Yeah, I've got to go Portugal because they won it before, and then I'm going to go France. But
France and Portugal.
Yeah, but it's hard to bet against Germany. But I'm going to have to.
And like what I was saying, I think all 3 of them, because like I said, I think third place teams, like 2 or 3 of them qualify. So
I mean,
Would,
it'd be good for those three to get through, even if one of them do finish, like you say, in that third spot that gets them through. Because I think your Germany's, your France, your Portugals, your Spain, your England's in that. They're what keep the competition alive. I mean, what competition was it when, like, Brazil, Germany, and all the teams were poor? Spain, was that the last World Cup, or I can't remember. And like all the best teams were out nearly, and it was shocking. I can't remember what year it was. It was like, it wasn't the year when Greece surprised everyone and won it. Remember that? That was madness.
Yeah, from Greece, Portugal. Dinashen said, you will all be surprised by Germany, King Kai. I mean, Havertz, £75 million, Champions League winner as well. They've got
some players. Man. Yeah, they've got some ballers, mate. I just think if they were in that group, then we'd be saying, right, they're going through. Yeah. But they've got two ridiculously hard games.
See, they're saying here, people are saying 4 of the best third place teams go through. So, I mean, 4 out of 6 groups are going to get through in third place.
Germany are probably going to get through then. Well, you would have thought so.
Really, you've got if Germany beat Hungary convincingly, you're through, even if you probably lose to Portugal and France.
Yeah. Albeit, obviously, Hungary don't get any points, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I want Germany to go through. I'd love Portugal, France, and Germany to go through. I think it'd be good because when the Germans are not involved, I don't know. There's something about Germany, even though we've got history with them.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Ben said here, Portugal won the last Euros without winning a single game without extra time.
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it?
I'm sure they got through on goal difference or third place.
They came third in the group, and then I think they won like in extra time, and then obviously they won the final in extra time as well. So just touching on Portugal, obviously the big man up front for them, a lot of question marks about him going into this tournament. Ronaldo, has he got it left in the tank? He's 34, 35 now. He's just finished top goal scorer in Italy, but he's been criticised. I've seen a lot of Juventus fans and channels saying that they've changed their game to try and fit around him, and it's made the team weaker. Do you think Ronnie can still produce? And obviously they're the holders as well.
I watched him the other night. Who did they play? Israel? They played someone, a friendly, the other night. Bruno Fernandes scored 2 decent finishes. Was it Israel?
Oh, yeah, I saw one of them, one of his goals.
And as much as we don't like it, even when I got to 35, your brain tries to, you think you can still do things and you can't do it. So you do a step over, shift it. You think you can do the step over and shift it. And the youth is just as quick as you, if not quicker. And the other day I seen a few things where he did the double touch and he got moved, he got shifted, he got outpaced, he got out-strengthed. And this is Ronaldo we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? But age catches up with you. And unless you're a deep lying midfielder who just gets it off the back four, like Toni Kroos can play forever, a Modric could play forever, because their role is not really beating players. Yeah. With Ronaldo, his game is all about beating a man, getting half a yard, getting a goal. Soon as that goes, then what will Ronaldo bring you? And I seen that the other night. Obviously, he's one of the greatest players we've ever seen on the planet, but at the end of the day, sometimes age does catch up with you. And it did look like in short spells the other day that is the case. And I do think people play through him too much because he's in the wrong position at times and people still pass him the ball. But just like Serafal said then, he could come up and end up winning Golden Boot, this guy. Because he's one of the greatest players we've ever seen on the planet. So you just don't know. You just don't know.
It's crazy because he's one of them guys. If I was his manager, I'd just say, play in the penalty area, play on the last defender, just get the ball to, get the ball to. But, but then, like I'm saying, does it hold the team back? Because they've got Jota, they've got Bernardo Silva, they've got Bruno Fernandes, they've got players there that can get the ball to him. João Felix as well. Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, obviously it's probably going to be his last one now. He's going to be his last one. I think the way that he plays, it's only a matter of time before he has to finish because his body won't be able to do the things that his mind wants to do.
Yeah.
Because he, like you say, he's not a holding midfielder who can spray the ball left, right, and center. He's an explosive player, and that explosive side of your game goes when you hit 33, 34, 35. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I can't believe? You know what? He's 36. I actually thought he was 34. Yeah. 36 in February he was.
And it does slow down. I remember 34, 35. I had to change from being a winger to go centre mid. Luckily, I can play centre
mid. And not run and just get on the ball.
Yeah, because you can't skip past the little 24-year-old fullback, because he'll just, Ronaldo against a Reece James. He's not going to outpace Reece James. He's not going to outstrength Reece James. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, 5 years ago, he would leave him for dust. So he does catch up with you. Yeah. Ronaldo is the kind of player to me. He will never want to retire. Could see him like.
You know what? I saw an interview with him the other day, and they asked him, "Is this your last tournament?" And he said, "No, I want to go to." Because I think the next World Cup's next year, isn't it? They play in Qatar in winter.
Yeah, I think he might. To be fair, he'll probably make that, wouldn't he?
He'll make that, yeah. So he said he'll be 37, then he'll go to that. So I think with Ronaldo, listen, just get the ball to him in dangerous areas.
Yeah,
things can happen. It's if they can get the ball to him.
Ronaldo could not do anything for 89 minutes. You get him the ball, and he'll just do some just ridiculous, won't he? And he'll win you the game. Like you say, he's one of the greatest players we've ever seen in world football. So, like you say, I think he's always going to play.
He's always going to play, man.
He's always going to play. Do you know what I mean?
So just quickly, I'm going to ask you a few snappy questions then. So, who do you think are going to win the tournament?
I've gone for France. I do know it's probably the easiest thing to go for, but the reason I've gone for France is they're very strong in nearly every position. I read something the other day as well. When Kante and Pogba start together, they've never lost a game.
Yeah, I saw that.
Or something like that. I just think they're strong in nearly all positions. It's the easiest one to go for. I think they're joint favourites with somehow England, joint favourites with France. I don't know where this comes from.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know where this comes from. But I'm going to go for France are my favourites, and I think it's the easiest one to go for.
So let's say because I think everyone's saying France. Really, it's so hard not to pick them with Benzema as well. But let's just say something goes wrong, and it's not France. If you had to pick another team after France, who would you pick?
That is a tough question, isn't it? Belgium.
You go for Belgium?
Yeah. That might surprise a few, but this is kind of like they've had this golden generation for too long and not done anything, have they? So maybe it's their time. Yes, I'm going to go for a Belgium. If France don't win it, maybe a Belgium. That's what I'll go for.
It's interesting that, I mean, Lukaku's had a great season. Hazard obviously has had They seem to be a team of individuals, Belgium.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just doesn't click in the tournaments. And they have got players, man. Tillemans, Lukaku, De Bruyne, Hazard. It's just the defense a bit old. That's the only thing. Alderweireld and them boys.
Yeah.
No, it'd be interesting. It's a good shout. It's a good shout.
Go for Belgium.
I'd probably go with, after France, I'd probably go with Portugal,
Yeah.
I'd probably go with Portugal because I think with them players around Ronaldo, Ruben Diaz at the back and that as well, I think they've got a good team. But no, it'd be interesting. Top scorer, who do you think is going to win the Golden Boot?
Well, it's all depends on how far they go, innit? You know what I mean? People say Kane, England get knocked out in the quarters and then someone goes bags 3 in the semis. So obviously you've got Benzema, Lukaku, Kane, Ronaldo. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't say not Ronaldo. He's the greatest goal scorer I've seen. You know what I mean? You've got to go for it.
And greedy as well.
And he's greedy, mate. He's taking everything. He don't care. So it depends on how far they go, innit? But then you've got the natural goal scorers. There's not many better than Kane, is there? Natural goal scorers. I mean, Benzema maybe, but is he as good as Kane when it comes in that 6-yard box?
For me, I tell you who I'm going for. I wouldn't pick a French player just because I think their group is so hard. I think there will be very few goals in the group stage. Because obviously they've got Germany and Portugal. You know, I can't see them slapping teams like that up. I think there'll be tight games.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I think it could be like a Lukaku, you know, because Belgium play Russia, Finland, and Denmark. I could see them banging goals in against them teams in the group. He could already have 3 or 4 goals by the time he gets out of the group.
Yeah. And that's where most of the goals are scored, in the group stage.
That's where you bang your goals in, you know?
Yeah, good point. So I'm going to narrow it down, and after that point, let's narrow it down to Lukaku or Kane. Because Kane's England's group, he should be scoring goals. He's got to be scoring goals.
He should. Yeah.
So we've got to make a decision. We can't sit on the fence.
So you got to go. So we're going Kane or Lukaku. Who are you going for?
You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Lukaku because I think Belgium will go further than England.
Yeah, that's it. If you've tipped them as potential to win it, then you're backing it.
I'm gonna go Lukaku.
I think Lukaku will win it. I think he'll win the Golden Boot because I think he'll come out of the group. He'll already have goals coming out of that group.
Yeah.
You know. Big up to Andrew Gasser. He said 49th birthday today. Happy birthday, Andrew, mate. Appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in. Sway said subscribe to FFTV. Bring on the £250. Hey, man, that buddy's lead. Like I said, people, links in the description below. I don't know what number you're on now, but click on the link. Subscribe to Fran's channel. When he gets to 500, he will be doing a £250 giveaway.
Yeah.
And
make sure they know that. We're going to comment on my next video, which will probably be up tomorrow, and then the computer will pick a comment. So, you know, by tomorrow, by Sunday at the latest, someone will have that on the way. They can either have it. I don't know how they want it, but you know, whether they want
crypto, they want it in crypto. You know,
want it in crypto. Yeah, that's even easier. That's even easier. I can do the Bitcoin no problem. To send me that wallet.
Who's your dark horses then? Who's the team that you think, you know what? An outsider that might not win it, but gets to maybe like a semi-final.
Well, I think a lot of people is Italy because they're still classed as dark horses, even though they're a big nation, even though they've not done anything for a long time, have they, Italy? So Italy probably the dark horses. I also, got to be honest, can't look past Croatia.
Yeah?
Just because of what they did last competition. And I know a lot changes. I get a lot changes, but Croatia seem to be one of those teams that know how to win games. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they did in you know what I mean? The finalists. So
World Cup finalists,
yeah. So my other dark horse was Croatia. I was thinking about the Netherlands, but the Netherlands always tend to let me down. Yeah. So I'm going to go for either Italy or a Croatia for my dark horse.
No, I think you make a great point.
I'd love to see a Netherlands there because I used to love them as a kid.
Everyone loved Holland, man. The football, Rijkaard.
I used to love them as a kid.
Holland, I think with no Van Dijk, I think that'll cost them.
Yeah,
that'll cost them. I would have liked to have seen them done well. But I do agree with you on Italy. I think Turkey will do well if they get through the groups as well. But you're right about Croatia because I was speaking to someone today and they were like, yeah, when England beat Croatia, I was like, beat Croatia? Like they beat us last time we played them. They've got their midfield is Brozovic, Kovacic and Modric. Like they're just going to bop England.
And they're all like 28, 29, 30, 31. There's no I don't think they've got any kids. They're all like seasoned, experienced, top level footballers.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they do well. But I can't see England beating Croatia.
Well, that is going to be a hard game. Do you think Luka Modric is sitting in his room right now thinking, bloody hell, man, Declan Rice, this is He's thinking, I'm going to take you to school, mate. I'm taking you to school on Sunday.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think people are getting too ahead of themselves when it comes to Croatia. He's a World Cup finalist, mate. Do you know what I mean?
He's ridiculous, mate. He's absolutely ridiculous. He's just had arguably one of his best seasons. He's about 35, 34.
Yeah, I think he's 36. He can play that role forever because you don't have to run around.
Mate, I'm telling you now, if England don't beat Croatia, that Scotland game turns into a nightmare. It's just going to turn into a fight. They're just going to...
You imagine they lose against Croatia and they lose against Scotland. Can you imagine? And I tell you what,
impossible,
it's not impossible.
It
ain't impossible. It ain't impossible, mate. The way Scotland might turn up, roll them sleeves up. You know how it's cold up there.
Yeah.
And they might come up and bully England, mate. Like Vikings.
They'll be right up for it, man. What do you think about England then? Like, where do you think England will get to? I mean, for me, Gareth Southgate is not a great manager. I think he'll be cautious, but how far do you think they'll go?
I think you've got to say the quarters. I think they're good enough to get through out of the group, and obviously, depending. I mean, I'm not sure who will they have in the 16.
Yeah, I don't know what group it is. I was looking at that. I don't know which one connects with which.
Anyone in the comments know who we would get if we won?
Yeah, if you
get out. So I'm not sure who we get because all of a sudden that becomes a stumbling. You get a France.
Yeah, you get a France, mate. You're going home.
Or a Germany. I don't think we'd beat a Germany at the minute. Do you know what I mean? The way that, do you know what I mean? So I don't know who we've got in the next round, but quarterfinals for me is got to be a team, the players that we have that everyone rates, the nation, and that I think quarterfinals is a minimum. But I won't be surprised if they don't make it.
See, people saying we get that Portugal, Germany, France group. So,
oh wow!
I hope you've kept the tag on that shirt. Get back to Sports Direct, mate. Yeah. Take it back. Tell them I'll delete the video. You never wore
it. Yo, I've changed my mind. We ain't getting past 16, bro.
So do you think, if England get France, Germany, or Portugal, do you think we're out to all three?
I think we're out. Yeah, I think we're out. I don't think this England team is nowhere near as good as the previous England teams that we've had. Nowhere near. That's me. Nowhere near. Yo, I've seen people
calling this a golden generation. This is the best team since Beckham and Gerrard.
Nah, this ain't the Beckham and the Scholes and the Gerrard and the Shearers and that. This ain't nowhere near that squad, mate. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Yo, nowhere near.
I hope you never sprayed aftershave on that shirt, mate. You need to, you know what I mean?
You know, like back in the day where we used to put our stickers on our dipset.
yeah, keep the sticker on the front of the cap.
Yeah. In case I need to take that back, boy.
Take that straight back. Nah, man, I'm not gonna lie. We've just been, bro. Can you imagine CR7 against Tyrone Mings?
Mate, listen, I'm telling you now, that old team that we had with Adams and Sol Campbell and Beckham and Gerrard. Nah, that was a team, and that was a team that man was scared of. Mings, Shaw, Chilwell, Rice. Nah. I mean, I'm not scared. Even I'm not scared, bro. Nah, come on.
I like Declan, Rice and peas more like.
Yeah, rice and peas. We should take him. He needs some sauce, bro. He needs some sauce.
Oh, man. So England could be going home early, we reckon. If they're going into that group, mate, they're going to have problems.
Problems, mate. They might surprise us. Like you say, they might surprise us. But, boy.
Big up School Fugger, man. Go and check out his channel as well. So he's saying, what you trying to say? It's coming home. I think he's saying, we're going home.
We're coming home.
Hey, man, there we go. There we go. We've covered the Euros, everyone. We're gonna touch on Arsenal, of course. The gift that keeps on giving. You know what? You sit there sometimes, don't you? And you think, right, season's finished. I'm trying to make content. It's going to go quiet. And then, you turn on social media and Buendia has gone to Villa ahead of Arsenal. And he's actually come out now and he's because Villa announced it officially yesterday. And he's saying, I thought this was the most exciting project for me to join. I mean, I think that's damning for Arsenal to hear a player say that. Like, can you imagine back in the day, a guy from Norwich rejecting Arsenal to go to Aston Villa? And Villa are a big club, but come on. Like,
Yeah.
what was your thoughts on that deal? And I know you made a video about it as well.
Well, as soon as it looked like he was going Villa, I made the video saying, and like I say, your video blew, and all the videos blew up on that. And I think people are generally surprised and in shock that he's chose Villa. But then when you dissect it and you look down at it and you think, well, when you have that speech, when John Terry and Dean Smith sit down with you, and then Edu and Arteta sit down with you, you can see why he's signed for Villa. Because it's like when you're trying to chirp a girl, in it. If you're trying to chirp a girl and the next man's offering all kinds of pieces of whatever, and you're there and you're stuttering and you're oh, I might be able to take you here, or I might be able to do that, the girl ain't coming with you. You have to go with the next man. And that's our Buendia. When Arteta and Edu sat down, well, we might sign this player, might sign that player. We've got a rebuilding. I might do this, I might do that. You know, we've got ESR and Saka, you know. And then you got Dean Smith saying, listen, I've got Traore's blowing now. I'm getting rid of Ross Barkley because he's not getting good enough. I'm keeping Jack Grealish. I'm doing this. We're going to overtake Arsenal. We're going to put 150 million into the squad this year, Arsenal, because I'm telling you now, you know, Dean Smith secretly, in the smart way, was hammering Arsenal in those talks. Was hammering Arsenal in those talks. You've seen what's happening with Arsenal. You know, I'm not saying you won't do well there, but, you know, you might struggle. You've only got one chance to make it in the Premier League. Everyone's watching. It's big money, a lot of pressure. You come to us, you're going to be straight in. You're going to be everyone, you know, you're not expected to do anything at Aston Villa. All eyes are on you at Arsenal. These are all the things that managers say to players.
Yeah.
And then you've got Emi Martinez saying, come here, man, because the way that Arsenal dealt with me, you don't want to go there. It's a sinking ship.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on.
Who are you going to go and sign for?
Well, listen, obviously, we've got emotional attachment in it. It's different. But listen, if he's sitting down with those two projects, like you said, Villa are on the up. They play exciting football. They're going to keep Grealish. You know, like you said, the pressure's not the same. Arsenal is like cancel culture, innit? If you go to Arsenal, you have a bad 6 months. Yeah, Buendia is a flop. He's rubbish. There's all these videos. He's being slagged off. The fans have turned on him. At Aston Villa, they're going to be patient with him. Yeah, he's at Villa. He's out the spotlight. Just figure yourself out, you know? And like you said, Villa beat Arsenal twice last year, comfortably as well at the Emirates. And Dean Smith's going to say, why would you want to go there? Why would you want to go there? You know, this is a team on the up. Emi Martinez, one of his best mates. Emi's just had an unbelievable season. It's not that difficult, really, when you remove the emotion to see why he went there.
Of course, he's going to say, what's better for you as a footballer going forward? Come to Villa. We're going this way. Arsenal are going that way. We're going to put 200 in. Arsenal are going to put 100 in. We're going to finish above Arsenal next year. That's our aim.
Yeah.
Which, if they continue and we don't make serious signings, Villa will finish. If Jack Grealish didn't get injured, Villa will have finished above us this season.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Villa will have finished above us. Do you know what I mean? He was out for what, 3 months? Something crazy like that?
He was out for months.
And then he's going to say, well, if you're playing for us and we're going to go for Europe and the pressure's a lot less, you're going to get in your national team. You know, you're going to be a legend at Villa. The fans are going to give you, the expectations are not as high as it would be if you went to Arsenal. You know, who you're going to link with at Arsenal. You know, you've got Jack Grealish to link with. You've got Traore to link with. What are you going to say when you come to Arsenal? Saka and ESR are not getting players of Buendia's caliber to sign for us. They'll just say, yeah, great, nice couple of kids. We'll see where they are in 5 years. That's what a player's going to say.
It's true, man. It's true because, even the style of football. You know, back in the day, even when we were kind of struggling, everyone knew, listen, man, you go to Arsenal, they're balling. Like, they're not winning the bigger trophies at times, but the football is going to elevate your game. We've done watch-alongs this year on Arsenal, and I've genuinely nearly been asleep. Like, it's been that bad. And
sometimes
when Villa beat Arsenal,
5 passes together.
Yeah, like we're slow on the break. Our attacking players, because if I was Dean Smith, I'd say, right, Emmy, you're an attacking player. Aubameyang's had the worst season he's had in 8 years under this manager. Lacazette's just on par with what he usually does.
Yeah.
Pepe, he don't trust him, chucks him in and out of the team. Martinelli can't get a kick. The only two lads who've done well are Saka and Smith Rowe. Saka looks burnt out, and he didn't play Smith Rowe till December. So how do you think you're going to thrive in that team? I'll say, look, Jack Grealish is in the England team. Ollie Watkins was in the England squad. You know, McGinn's been balling this season as well. Like, that is a team that you would be excited to play for, Aston Villa. It doesn't matter about the history of Arsenal.
All he's got to do, which he would have, he would have had snippets and clips of attacking football. And he would have had snippets and clips of attacking football of Arsenal. This is what I would have done if I'm trying to sign a player, right? And this is what happens. And he would just say, where do you fit in these two styles of playing? Take your time, no pressure, have a look, discuss with your friends, discuss with your family, which type of attacking football, where on the pitch do you receive the ball? And let me know. That's all Dean Smith would have had to have said, and then walked away. And he still would have chose Villa. Because all you have to do is look at the way they attack, look at the style of play. That's it.
Yeah. That's damning, isn't it?
And that is how far we are, by the way. And I've had some, I would say discussions is probably the right word with certain people that I'm telling you now, I do not think that we will finish above 10th next season. And everyone's like, I said, I can't see it because all the other teams are going to get stronger. I don't know how we're going to get stronger. I'm looking at the players that we're looking to sign. I can see why Neves is in there, but then, like you say, the likes of you saying Basuma and all these other players, right? Yeah. Neves on his own, or Basuma on his own, but Neves on his own, he's not going to really get us where we need to get to, right?
No.
Leeds are going to improve. They're going to spend another 150 million. Even if they sell Rafinha, they're going to probably spend another 150 million. They can do because they've stayed in the Prem. When you stay in the Prem, you get another 100 million in your pocket, don't you? Or whatever you get, TV rights.
Yeah.
Then you look at all the other teams. Everton, depending on who they bring in. Yeah. Leicester are way above us at the minute. Then you're going to have Villa around us. Then you're going to have Spurs in and around us. And that's just those. Do you think we are going to be better than them?
I mean, listen, we've done nothing to bridge the gap, have we?
I want us to be. Yeah, and I want Arteta, I want his philosophy to work because I do believe that his philosophy and the way he wants to play is good football. We just don't have the players to play that way. We don't have the players to play triangles, round the corners, third man running. We don't have the players. Now, if he brings 8 South American players in tomorrow, they'll bop the ball around for fun, but then will they want to run around? So I have no faith or confidence for next season. And it seems like we've been going for a transitional period for about 8 years. The
thing is, what's crazy, I genuinely think Arteta wants Arsenal to play like Man City. And then because we haven't got the players, it looks terrible. And then you think, well, what's he trying to do?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then he doesn't seem to have another plan after that. It's like, all right, play it into holding, into Bella, and into midfield, it breaks down. And then you see it again, and I'm like, is that all we've got? Like, is there no plan B? And then that is my problem with him, is that he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have the players to play like that. But then why are you signing players that don't fit in with the philosophy that you want? Do you know what I mean? When Klopp went to Liverpool, he signed Gini Wijnaldum, and people go, oh, Newcastle been relegated, but he needed that engine in midfield.
And how good was he? He was different league.
Do you know what I mean? He got Robertson from Hull. He dropped Firmino, put him up front. He got Salah and Mane. We're signing players. Like, he signed Thomas Partey, right, who was so highly rated. And I've watched him all season. I'm like, he's suffocating in this team right now.
Yeah. He looks
I
bang
watched him
average.
at Atletico Madrid wrapping up Messi against Barcelona. Yeah, I'm watching him against West Ham and like Lingard's running rings around him just because of the system and who he's
Yeah.
playing around. So I'm like you, Fran. I don't see, I went on Saeed's channel earlier. He goes, "Oh, you can't get any worse." I said, "But how do we get any better though? We haven't bought
Yeah.
anyone. What have we
Good
done to
point.
bridge that gap?"
But you can get worse.
Yeah.
Everything goes with momentum. So if you're going backwards, there's more chance of you going backwards than forwards, because momentum is everything. Momentum is a psychological thing. Momentum is a mindset thing. So if we're struggling, for example, Xhaka's gone, right? Yeah. And he might be one of those players where we go, we didn't realize that he actually did a good job before he left. One of them. That could be one of those.
Yeah.
Even though I don't rate him. If he goes and David Luiz goes and Willian goes and Ceballos and all these players, right? Yeah. That means we've got to go and sign 6 and 7 players who were either better, the same, or better than them.
Yeah.
I can't think of 6 players who are going to fit in a budget, who are going to be the same or better than them.
Do you think Arsenal will even spend 100 million this summer?
If they don't spend 100 million, I don't know where we'd finish. Where would we finish?
We're finishing 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
If we're lucky, mate. If we're lucky. And the only reason, listen, we scraped some decent wins in a spell, didn't we? The Chelsea game, the Newcastle game. We scraped some decent wins, yeah?
Yeah.
That was just part of the momentum, turn of the season. Other teams were out of form, blah, 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 blah. And then towards the end of the season, we got more points than so-and-so since January and all this nonsense stats that people fly around, right? I think the fact of the matter is the Premier League was that bad last year. It looked
shocking.
It looked like we did better than we actually did.
Yeah.
Because it was that bad.
I agree with that. I think it was
like Ebby said, 100 million, like Ebby says, 100 million it's a lot of money, of course. But in the Premier League, Chelsea are going to sign 2 players for 100 million. And then they say, right, we need another 4. Man City don't really get going. They don't really break their structure. They don't really.
They won't spend more than like 60, but they'll buy a lot of players at that price.
Exactly. They won't spend 100 million on one player, but they'll go and buy 3 players for 50 million.
Yeah.
Because they see it as a team. It's like this Kane thing. I can't see Man City spending 100, 150 million on Kane or Haaland.
No.
I don't think they need to. But as Arsenal, the reality is we're a mid-table team with a mid-table owner's mentality, with a mid-table manager, a mid-table philosophy. So what are you going to get? You're going to get mid-table. And if you think, it's very straightforward. And if you think, we're Arsenal, we got the sickest training kits, we got sick hoodies and all this stuff, and everyone will just come from us. Well, everyone will sign for us because we're Arsenal. Well, let me tell you something. Buendia has just proven those days are over because he has chosen Aston Villa. That is the biggest indication that anyone needs, whether you're an owner, whether you're the tea lady, whether you ever. Someone has chosen Aston Villa, and Villa have got great history. I like Villa. We're from the Midlands. I get that. But let's be honest. You go to the other side of the world and you say Aston Villa or Arsenal. People are going to say, who's Aston Villa?
Yeah.
They're going to say, who's Aston Villa? They stayed up last year, last game of the season.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's the biggest indication of the way that we're going. I'm telling you now.
And you know what? You're spot on. And you know what, Fran? Them warning signs have been coming for years. And this club, they've never woke up to it. When Jamie Vardy, who come out of non-league and conference and that, and this is when Arsenal were in the Champions League, by the way, when we were half decent with Sanchez. From when he's saying, no, I'm all right. I'll stay at Leicester. Do you know what I mean? The alarm bell should have been ringing. But the problem with Arsenal for years, they've just sat there and gone, yeah, we're Arsenal. But no one cares about that. Nobody cares that you're Arsenal.
No one cares.
What I mean? Players go to the Emirates, and they want to put Arsenal to work. They're not scared like when he was at Highbury, when, you know, they was intimidated. They're going, yo, I'm going to get a goal here. How many times have you watched Arsenal and they'll go, Christian Benteke, he hasn't scored in the last 9 Premier League games, and within 20 minutes he scored. You know what I mean? It's Arsenal, man. You know it happens all the time. So to me, I'll be honest, until the owners go, until the manager goes, at least one of those two things need to happen, but probably both. I don't think Arsenal will get anywhere near where they need to get to. I think we're heading for maybe years as this 10th to 6th in the league.
If the owners don't go right, Daniel X obviously put this another bid in. They don't look like, they don't sound like they want to entertain any offer. The Cronkies are moving like, you know, you keep knocking at my door, but I'm not answering no door. That's how they're moving. Yeah. So say the owners don't go nowhere, because you know how hard it is to get rid of owners. You can't get rid of owners. It's hard. I won't say impossible, but it don't happen that often, right? No. So you change the manager. You've got to get a manager in who is willing to take 5 million in wages, a lot less than anyone else, right? You've got to be able to take a manager in who has a budget of, I don't know, he's on a shoestring, as they say. He's on a shoestring budget, right? And he's got to get a tune out of these players. Who do you go for?
What, in terms of what manager do you go for?
Yeah. Who do you go for? What manager?
Already, when you're saying 5 million a season, you've already cut off. You've cut off Conte. You've cut off all of them.
You've cut off any named manager, any manager with a past, any manager who's won trophies. You're not getting them, because Arteta, I believe, is on what, 5 mil, around that.
Like 5, 6 mil.
Yeah. So they're not going to all of a sudden say, right, we'll get rid of him. I'm going to give someone 10 million. And even at 10 million, you're not really going to get any world-beating manager who's won everything. It's not going to happen. So say who you're going to go for.
Yeah, this is the problem. It is, like man said, it's an adult question. Like, who are you going to go for? Because listen, to me, you've seen me making all these videos. Go get Conte, it's that the other. But the wages probably scare them off. Where my argument was, like Kevin Campbell was saying to me, they can't afford Conte. I said, all right, Conte wants £12 million a season, right? That's 250 grand a week. We're paying Willian 200 grand a week. Now, surely an elite manager is more important than a guy that is currently sitting on the bench not doing anything. So my thing was, well, how can they afford Willian, but they can't afford Antonio Conte, where a top manager is going to have a bigger influence on a club than an aging right winger? So it's like they'll spend money on a player, but we've got no money when it comes to the manager. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, the only argument with that is when a manager comes in, he's going to say, I want 150 million.
Well, there's the issue, obviously.
200 million budget. So the wages, I don't think, a lot of the time, I don't think the wages is much of an issue at times. I think when they turn, like Conte's gone and he said he wants four staff. Daniel Levy was like, I'm not sure about putting these 4 staff in. I bet the 4 staff wanted about 50 grand a week each. So he wanted 4 staff. He didn't want to integrate young players. So he didn't want to develop young players. Conte's saying, basically, I want to win trophies like Mourinho. I'm bun your kids. I want to win trophies. You know what I mean? Like, bun the kids. Like the kid. I don't care about people coming through. They're not going to win me trophies. I want to win trophies. That's what Mourinho used to say. Yeah, that's what Mourinho used to say. I'm getting judged on trophies. I'm not getting judged in bringing a Mason Mount through or a Phil Foden. I'm getting judged on, do I win the Champions League? So Conte's going in and he's saying, no, I'm not working with these kids. Give me my money, give me my stuff. I'll put trophies in the cabinet and then I'll go. That's elite managers. That's boss managers. We can't do that. So we have to go for a manager who is the same mold as Arteta. Not maybe the way that he is as a person, but the same mold. He's just coming from a certain level of coaching, or he's done well in a foreign league, a team that we don't really know, or young boys or grasshoppers or whatever, this level, or first division in Germany or somewhere like that. And then he comes and he makes a name for himself at Arsenal. That's the only managers we can go for, Kurt. That's the reality, mate.
I hear you on that. And the funny thing is, friend, that you look, George Graham came from Millwall, wasn't the biggest manager. Arsene Wenger was in Japan. Most people said Arsene who, never heard of him.
Kicked a ball. So, the kid never even kicked a ball.
This is why Arsenal are like, listen, I would have sacked Arteta. I think everyone knows that. But I think this is why they are sticking with him in a way, because they're going, we ain't got the money for a Conte. We've backed him so much, we've just got to stick with it till it crashes and burns almost.
Yeah,
they'll only sack him when they're just like, you know what, we've tried, man, but it's impossible now. But the thing is, would the fans accept a Graham Potter, a Steven Gerrard, a Nuno, a Rafa? They're very unglamorous. They're not very exciting, like that. And fans want exciting managers now, amazingly. With Klopps and Peps and them type of guys.
Obviously, fans don't want it. We don't want to be linked with players who we think. I seen somebody the other day, a young kid. He scored 17 goals. I can't remember his name. And someone said they won 60 million. So I laughed. 60 million for someone who scored 17 goals. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But as fans, we don't want to be associated with bang average play. We don't want to be associated with a Bertrand. We don't want to be associated with a Ramsey might come back. But the fact of the matter is, we are where we are. So Potters, Gerrards, even Brendan Rodgers has gone out the way now.
We can't get him.
We can't get Brendan Rodgers now. Ancelotti's, people like this. The reality is we can't get managers like that. We have to go and use our ability or our scouting skills or our persuasion of trying to convince people to come to Arsenal, part of this project, and say, listen, come here, be the manager. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it.
Yeah. And
that's not going to be a glamorous name. It's good. Potter's had to go the long way round, and all these people and for example, Mourinho, when he gets the Porto job, and everyone's saying, well, who's this Mourinho? He's an interpreter for Bobby Robson. Like, what does he know about football? Then look, Porto fans weren't really, he was Portuguese, but no one was raving about it. No one was great shakes. We have to go out there and find a manager who is going to bring something, and we don't know about this manager. We don't know about him. Now, the thing I think with Arteta, we all knew about Arteta. He was already here. He played for Arsenal. He played for Everton. Everyone knew him. He was at Man City, blah, 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 good for the job. I think that's actually worked against him. If Arteta comes from La Liga First Division or whatever it is, right? And then he comes and he does really well, and he'd never played for Arsenal or he'd never really played in the Prem, I think people have a little bit more of a leeway with him and give him more bit of a time. I think the fact that he's been here, we know he's played in the Prem, he's Arteta, he's been at Man City, blah, blah, blah. I think it's actually working against him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a way.
Because they're like, because even me, I have to admit, when he came in as manager, and this is a bit unfair, but I almost had this thing about me with Arteta, like, I didn't really like him as a player. Do you know what I mean? But I tried to put that out of my head. And the only reason I didn't like him, was because I loved Cesc Fabregas. And we sold Fabregas and bought Mikel Arteta. So my head was like, what? We've just sold one of the best ball-playing midfielders in the world and signed this guy from Everton who hasn't got one cap for Spain. So I was always looking at him as a downgrade. But I tried to just get over that. Let me just give him a chance as a manager.
Yeah.
I just don't see it in him, Frank. I just don't see it. Some managers, you think they're struggling, but I can see he's going to get there. I cannot see Arteta getting there because I don't think he's got the man management skills. I think the style of football will not work with the players we've got. That he needs to spend 200 million to make that work.
Yeah.
Go and buy a £50 million ball playing centre back. Go and buy a centre mid that bosses the game on the ball.
Yeah.
You know, get fullbacks that are comfortable. He needs to spend a fortune. But with this team, how are you going to do that with Rob Holding?
I think he's too arrogant.
Yeah, I do.
I think he's way too arrogant for the level that he's at. This is his first job. Yeah. He is not qualified to be bowling around the way that he bowls around. That's how I see it. I think he's too arrogant. I think he's upset Aubameyang. I think he's upset Pepe. I think he's upset, even though Willian wasn't playing best. I don't think Willian even looks at him and think, I better play well today. I think Willian's his brethren. I think they're brethren. Oh, play me.
He probably played against him, didn't he? He's only a few years younger than.
Yeah, he's probably brethren. Yeah. He's picking up his dough, and I'm thinking, I'm looking at this player, I'm thinking, I'm on 300 grand a week, right? Or I'm on 250, I'm on 200 grand a week. I've done 10 times more than this player, yeah? This who's now my manager.
Yeah.
He was bang average, and he's trying to tell me how to play ball. I'm just going.
And you know what?
I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong, but I'm going from how I was when I was a player, and I'm not saying that's the right attitude. Don't get me wrong, because my attitude was not right. I would challenge everyone, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, seriously, you asking me to do this, and you couldn't do that? That's a subconscious thing. It's a subconscious thing, isn't it?
It is.
And I think Aubameyang has that problem with him. I don't think that's why.
That's the reality, though. That would happen in any job. That's like a man working in an office, and the cleaner gets the manager's job. You know what I mean? Like when he's telling Aubameyang, "Yo, go on the left and put crosses in," he's saying, "Bro, I won the Golden Boot a year ago. You ain't even played for your country before." You know what I mean? So
you want me to whip balls in?
Yeah,
I just think it's a subconscious thing. Like you're ruining the way certain men have been playing for the last 15 years of their career or since a kid, and you're asking them to do something that they don't want to do. Do you know what I mean? And then Aubameyang's going away and he's got other things off the field, and he's coming back and he's thinking, boy, you know what? I don't even like this brother here, man. I don't want to do this. You're making me look like an idiot. All the fans are turning on me. You're asking me to do things. My confidence is low. And I'm not making excuses up for Aubameyang, but they're only human. The only humans. Like, footballers are just the same as us. Like, they have the same mindset. They have the same thoughts. They have the same thing. Like you say, you go to a job and, you know, the apprentice becomes your boss at work. Man are like, what? Man go home to the wife like, can you believe this kid? He was an apprentice last week and he's telling me to sweep up. Nah, man, I'm not having it, boss. I'm not having it.
You know what I mean? You're just not having it, are you?
You're not having it. And
I think that's having it, man.
And I think footballers, even more so, because they're at a status, they're millionaires.
Yeah.
At any level, I think footballers have exactly the same. I'm just going off the way that I was when I was a player. Man came in and he didn't kick a ball, or he was a youth team coach before, and I used to say, or he was the same age as me, I would be like, what? This man they're always chatting about, man.
Yeah.
And I think with Arteta,
look, moving forward, obviously, look, we know that he's man a cracking up in the comments, you know. I'm telling you.
We could chat about Arteta all day.
Yeah, we could speak for 4 hours, mate, just talking about it. But listen, quickly before we got a bit more of the show, but listen, Fran's at 492 subscribers, people, right? You've heard him talking. He knows his stuff. We're both ex-pros. We know what we're talking about. He knows what he's talking about. Right? Go and subscribe to his channel. Once he gets to 500, he's doing a £250 giveaway. Go and subscribe. Me and him will be doing weekly or fortnightly shows, so you'll see a lot more of us together. Go and get him to 500 people. You know our community here. We have to ride out for each other.
We have to ride out. I mean, the wife keeps popping in. Don't tell her, because she needs some new chairs from IKEA. So, oh boy, don't tell her.
You say, listen, man, I got no money. I just gave $250 away on YouTube. Oh, dear me. Listen, Arsenal are being linked with a couple of players, and I just wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on them. This one I found quite funny because I've been calling this one out for a few days, and I think where is it wrong? I think Kev might have stole the idea from me, because Kevin Campbell is saying that Arsenal want Mateus Pereira from West Brom.
Yeah.
And I've been banging on about this guy for about 3 days.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on him? I mean, look, Kevin Campbell said, I've heard from sources Arsenal are interested in signing Pereira. I mean, I don't know what sources, but if he gets this wrong, right, he's going to have a lot to answer for the next time I have him on this channel.
Yeah. I mean,
by the way, you've hit 500, Fran.
Yeah, love that. Love that. So what we're going to do, just so everyone knows now, what we're going to do, the video that we do tomorrow, I'll probably do a daily vibe. I'm going to say to everyone, comment under that video. So then when we can go on the comment selector, it can select anyone who's commented on the video. It can collect a winner, choose a winner. And then I'll have a come back on you and we'll tell everyone, or I'll put it on my show and I'll put it in the description who is the winner. And then you can contact me. Let me know if you want the cash straight to a bank. Let me know if you want a gift voucher. Let me know how you want the peas, people. But yeah, that's how we're going to grow. We're growing communities on. I really appreciate it.
Straight cash.
Straight cash, man. Listen, if you want me to meet you and open my car boot, we can do it that way. You understand?
Yeah. So what do you make of this Pereira? Do you know much about? Listen, I think he's decent. 11 goals last year in a team that got relegated. Only 25. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, earlier in the season, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, I just started to see him play for. I must have watched a couple of West Brom live games, and I remember seeing him and I was thinking, this kid can do a bit. I think a game he got sent off. I think he scored a goal and he got sent off. And it kind of got my attention. So then I watched him for a few weeks after. And for me, he is the perfect signing for Arsenal. That's the level. He's not going to go for one of the top big teams because he's not good enough to get in the top 4, right?
Yeah.
So he's that next tier down. And I think he would be tremendous for Arsenal. I think he would be a tremendous signing. 15 million. He's not going to cost a fortune in wages. He will want to come to an Arsenal. You know what I mean? He suits that brand of football. He gets the ball on the back foot. He drives against back fours. Good set pieces. He's silky with his left foot. I mean, I've been raving about him for about 3 months now, and I'm surprised no one snapped him up yet. But yeah, I'll be delighted with him if he signed. I'll be delighted. Got to be honest.
I've genuinely been shouting this. People are saying I'm the source. I think Kev's nicked it off me, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, listen, it's like all these other YouTube channels, mate. They go on Sky Sports and then they say breaking news. It's me.
Yeah.
It's what Kev's done.
Kev's nicked it, man. You know what I mean? And then the second one. I mean, I don't know if you know much about this guy. I've seen him a few times. This guy, Rodrigo De Paul, he plays for Udinese in Italy. He's in the Argentina squad.
I've seen him.
He was being linked with Atletico, but apparently Arsenal want him. I don't know if you know too much about him. He looks good from what I've seen of him.
I don't know if it was highlights or a rewatch yesterday. Argentina were playing someone in World Cup qualifier. Was it yesterday? Was it live? Argentina did play a game. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. Yeah. And he played. I don't know if he came on, but I've seen bits of him. He looks. It's hard for me to say. Obviously, it's one game in it. I've not really seen a lot of him. If he's Argentinian, he's going to be decent on the ball. I think a lot of other clubs are interested in him.
Yeah,
which is an issue. And if one of the bigger club comes in for him, he's going to go there.
Yeah,
I've seen that. So if we do get him, I think it will be quite a good transfer coup because there is interest. I've seen that some of the big dogs have shown interest in him. So if the big dogs have shown interest in him, if we can grab him and kind of get some acute business done early, obviously you got Edu with a South American connection. You're hoping that we can kind of nick him, but he's probably going to want to play Champions League football. Yeah, someone's they played Colombia. Yeah, it was that yesterday. They played Colombia. When I watched it, I think Argentina were winning 2-1. I think at the time. Don't know what it ended up in, but yeah, I think it's going to be tough to get him. What are you going to offer him again? It's one of those questions. What are you going to offer him again?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I'm just reading up about him. It's saying that Atletico made an offer. They're saying Atletico may not have the money to buy him.
Okay.
So, I mean, you never know. It could fall into our hands. What I've seen of him, he looks a very good player.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm at a stage with Arsenal. When you can't get Buendia, everything else looks difficult to me. I'll celebrate it once I see him holding the shirt up. Until then, I don't get too carried away. But I do like him.
The first thing he's going to do, if he gets on with Buendia, he's going to ask him, why didn't you go to Arsenal?
Exactly. They're in the Argentina squad.
He's going to say, why didn't you go to Arsenal? And Buendia's going to tell him. These things, man, merry-go-round, but you don't think about it. It's like when Martinez went. Who would have thought that he would have an influence on us trying to make our major signing 12 months later, 9 months later, whatever it was? These things work against you, man.
You don't know at that time, do you? But
no, you don't know. Hindsight, innit?
I'm going to get out of here, Fran. We've been on for, hour and 40 minutes. Been a great show. Great to have you on as usual, bro.
Yeah, really appreciate it. It's pleasure, man. Pleasure to come on. You know, one of the biggest YouTubers going, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, just give us time, man. Vegas Connor, let me just get his big up for the super chat. Said, great show, guys. Pereira reminds me of Willian when Willian used to be good. I mean, I don't want Pereira then if he reminds you of Willian.
Listen, when Willian was prime, Willian was sick, was baller.
He was.
If Pereira's going to be half as good as Willian when he was balling, then yeah, that would be a good signing. But yeah, big up to everyone that subscribed. Appreciate it. Watch out for the new video and get your comments in. Get your comments in because that's where you're going to take
video tomorrow, guys. Everyone, when you've subscribed, make sure you comment on it, and then you're in with a chance of winning that 250.
And then we'll pick it, and then we'll do it. I might do a live stream to pick the winner as well, so we all know it's live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the best bet. But it gives everyone an opportunity to get the comments in on tomorrow's video. So maybe we'll do it Sunday. When's England playing?
England play Sunday, 2 o'clock.
Maybe after the England game, an evening session or something like that we'll do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Big up to everyone in the comments. Thank you very much. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe as usual. Subscribe to Fran's channel. And you doing a watch along later for the Turkey game? Yeah,
it depends what we're doing. We don't know if we're doing a watch along. I've got one scheduled, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Big up everyone, and we'll see you later. Big up for coming on, Fran.
Yeah, big up. Big love, everyone.